The word of the day is leverage. Now, I'm on a quest to achieve my own dreams, playing by my own rules. And I'm going to make a big claim. Right now might be the perfect time to do just that and build your own advantage in the world. If you've been watching or listening for any amount of time, you know that I come from a background in filmmaking as a cinematographer. And I've had a little revelation as of late. As I've been experimenting with establishing my voice beyond just being a cinematographer, I've started to notice a few things. The building blocks for independent success, they already exist. They're already here today. The problem is that most creatives and people in general are not taking advantage at all and missing out entirely. They're bound up in old frameworks and mindsets that are keeping them boxed in. So there's kind of three things that go along with these realizations I was having. First, tech is cheap. Think about your iPhone. You can make market competitive content and visuals on your own mobile device. There is no barrier to entry anymore. Distribution is free. Think about YouTube. You have instant access to a global audience. All you have to do is figure out how to get people to click on what you post. And marketing is direct. We live in a world of email lists and social media. You can speak directly to your people whenever you want. So the bottom line is this: you don't need gatekeepers to open doors for you anymore. Frankly, you can build your own house and put whatever doors you want in there. Now, a lot of this reminds me of my music days back in Boston when I was playing guitar and singing in a rock band. We worked so hard for years to build up a following and start doing more in the industry. And every industry contact we made had the same advice. If you guys want a record deal, you need to build to a point where you don't actually need the record label. Now, at the time, that felt completely backwards and unachievable. But now, it's super obvious. We needed to build our own leverage. Now, to be honest, I'm of an age where the creative landscape was not as democratized as it is today. Today, barriers have almost completely disappeared, and the landscape looks a lot different. Now, kind of in tandem with me having these thoughts and realizations, I also started to notice some veterans of traditional media coming out and championing sort of the same thing. It's this concept of the Creator 2.0. Now, I'm going to give credit to creative director turned independent maker Jason Murray for coining that phrase. He draws a really great analogy between athletes and the potential for the creative landscape today. Now, a lot of top pro athletes, they diversify beyond their main service, right? If you think of their service as how they perform on the court or the field or with their team, that's their service. But the smart ones, they diversify beyond just their main service by building and leveraging assets for themselves. They use their position of notoriety to build something else that exists outside of their main thing. Think of partnering with clothing brands or liquor brands, what have you. They build things that give them more leverage and more money while they sleep, right? They're not trading their time for money. And that is the problem that most creatives have. That we're taught from the beginning, in order to get money, you need to trade time, right? If you're trying to become a creative director at an agency, you're climbing that ladder internally, you're sinking in a lot of time to get notoriety and then earn that bigger paycheck, right? If you're coming from the film world like me, you're sinking a lot of time in on set. The more days on set you work, the more money you make. It is a direct trade, time for money, right? Now, you can always trade time for money, but building and leveraging your own assets is going to be how creatives now and into the future build sustainable and lucrative careers. Film and TV producer Alex LeMay, who I recently discovered on Substack, comes out and says very specific points on how filmmakers and creatives in general can kind of step outside of the traditional path and build their own leverage as it pertains to film. Think platform first, not format. Pick a platform that resonates with you, that you vibe with really well, and build there. So if it's YouTube, build around YouTube. If you have a great idea for a story, maybe it doesn't need to be a feature film. Maybe it can be broken up into a web series. So the format is not important here. The platform is important. How do you take advantage of the built-in audience? Another point is package your ideas up as intellectual property, not just story concepts. So the example I think of for some reason right off the top of my head is the series The Umbrella Academy. Now, it's a 4 or 5 season series on Netflix, but that started life as a graphic novel, which I think was written by the singer of My Chemical Romance. I'm pretty sure that's right. Anyway, it started life as a graphic novel, and that is the IP that got built out and developed into a series for Netflix. So your idea doesn't just need to exist in this box. It can look like a lot of different things. So think outside that box and think about how you can take your ideas and package them into something unique as an IP. Now, you can use platforms like YouTube to test and build an audience. Again, going back to my earlier point, you have a global built-in audience. You just need to figure out how to get people to click on what you're posting. And the point that Alex is making in the most recent article I read, which I will link in the show notes in the description, is make it on your own terms. This goes back to what all those people in the music industry were telling my band and I back in the day. Make it on your own terms so that Netflix or something similar comes knocking on your door. They come to you. Now, to take it a step further, the indie film giant A24 has officially greenlit the production of the science fiction horror film The Back Rooms, which started life as a YouTube series and has gained millions of views and gained so much traction that it couldn't be ignored any longer. And the big players came knocking. And the kicker on this one is that the creator and director is only 19 years old. This is someone who has existed completely outside of the traditional gate-kept film industry. And now the big players are starting to notice that things happen outside of their own framework. So the point is, this stuff is happening now. And this isn't just the film industry. This is across creative disciplines. There are platforms that exist outside of the traditional way. So all this is well and good, but what I try to do is give you some actionable advice, or at least things to think about and take with you to consider down the road. So think about this. Shift into an asset mindset. Think assets, not just services. You want to get off the time for money hamster wheel. Look, your experience, your reputation, your personality, that's your advantage, okay? If you've been in your field for 10 years, I guarantee you have valuable qualities that others want. Companies, brands, you name it, people want what's in your head. Think in IP. Original work can be intellectual property. Grow and utilize it on multiple fronts. Traditionalists are going to be mad that I say stuff like this. They'll say, make art for art's sake. But everybody has to eat, and quite frankly, I like my table to be full. So your small-scale ideas can become in-demand products and platforms if you think about them the right way. And lastly, lean into the human connection. We are in a world of AI and companies and brands trying to shrink down their workforce to save money and all this stuff. And I have to tell you, the one thing that can't be replaced is the human connection. It's more valuable than ever, okay? You have personality, you have trust, you have a unique perspective that can't be faked and that is uniquely yours. I'm a great example. I'm just some guy on the internet. Yet if you've watched or listened this far, here you are, and I'm saying something you want to listen to. So here's the truth. Traditional creative careers aren't just unstable. They're designed to keep you dependent. They're designed to keep you in a box. Every month you're waiting for validation from somebody else means you're choosing their limitations over your own potential. It's about who you are, not just what you do. You can create your own destiny by creating your own demand. And that, my friends, is leverage. Thanks so much for being here, for watching and listening. My name is Drew, and this is No Set Path. I have a newsletter on Substack called Creative Balance. I'm going to link to it in the description and the show notes. I hope I will see you there. And until next time, take it easy.